Hi, welcome to BR Film Recaps. Today we will show you a historical action thriller called Emancipation. But before we start, can we ask a little favor for you? Please like and subscribe to us to show a little of support and to keep us motivated in creating videos for you. Thanks. 35,000 slaves in insurgent states awaited the Union Army's liberation shortly after President Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. According to the introductory paragraph, they had the option of waiting for them or making their own getaway to safety. A slave named Peter is spending his last days in Louisiana in 1863 with his wife Dodie Ann and children Betsy, Cyprian, and Laurette, prior to his transfer to a new plantation in Clinton. When Peter is taken against his will from his house, he battles the handlers to get back home. Peter finally gives in and is taken with the other slaves as one of the men pulls a gun on Dodie Ann. Peter is the best blacksmith, according to one of the handlers. When Peter and other slaves arrive in Clinton, they are forced to work and subjected to unending cruelty and prejudice. John, a slave who had previously attempted to escape, has a mark on his cheek. Peter expresses his belief in God at night, but John disbelieves him since, according to him, there is no God for them to be where they are. Peter hears that the Lincoln Army is at Baton Rouge and that a large number of slaves are fleeing there in search of freedom. He comes up with a scheme to get away by navigating the wetlands. Peter waits for explosions to occur while he is made to bury dead slaves in a ditch so he may attack and kill the overseers. He starts rushing toward the marsh with a few slaves while being pursued by a party led by Fassel. The handler's hounds attack Thomas, one of the slaves. Fassel offers Thomas freedom in exchange for telling the men where the other slaves are going. After Thomas says Baton Rouge, Fassel allows him to stray into the swamp for a while before shooting him and letting the gators consume what's left of him. When Fassel and his soldiers continue their pursuit, Peter separates from the other slaves and starts to make his own route to freedom. After being recognized by the daughter of a slave owner, Peter is chased by men before hiding in a swamp. He defeats a gator and hides under a tree while attending to his wound. Knowles, a house servant, joins Fassel and his men as they make a nighttime stop and prepare a gator. Fassel tells a tale of how a female slave took care of him as a child and was kind to him. Fassel requested his father to invite her to dinner, and he was told that if he did, the men would take what they felt they were entitled to. Fassel's father stabbed the woman and left her to rot in the fields for 3 days after learning that he had been giving her meals under the table. Back on the other plantation, Captain Lyons, the owner, informs Dodie Ann that she has been sold to a new owner and that she must find a new husband if she wants to keep her children. She gets ready to split from her kids. Dodie Ann inserts her arm into a cotton machine while working on it in an effort to hurt herself and prevent being sold. Peter keeps doing everything he can to stay alive, scavenging for food and water and working to stay warm. He also conceals his scent from the dogs of the slave masters by using onions. When he runs into John, he feeds him onions to help him avoid being detected. John climbs a tree as Peter hides when Fassel and his men draw close. In response to John's refusal to provide Peter's location, Fassel shoots him down and chops off his head. Peter discovers a burned-down home at night where a family has been murdered. When he attempts to bring a slave girl to safety, she is severely hurt and dies after giving him a cross necklace. A slave handler shows there and tries to take Peter inside, but Peter and Knowles are both shot by the handler. Before shooting him, Peter reminds Knowles that for standing by his abusers, he is the worst kind of person. Peter approaches Baton Rouge in the morning as he hears the army of Lincoln's artillery. Fassel, on the other hand, catches up with him and makes an effort to kidnap him. When the Union soldiers show up, they kill Fassel by shooting him in the neck. Peter is then included in their group. After receiving medical care while being transported to a camp, Peter is informed that joining the Union is the only way to guarantee his and his family's release. After that, Peter is led to a tent where photographers snap images of his bare back to display the numerous lashing scars on his body and expose the atrocities of slavery to the rest of the world. To meet General Dwight, Peter dons a uniform and travels with Captain Andrew Q. When Dwight asks Peter about his motivations, Peter responds that he will battle against those who mistreated him. The soldier's mission is to sneak into a rebel camp and take its cannons. Q is among the many serious casualties sustained by the men as they charge into battle. Peter directs a charge in which the Union troops overpower the rebel troops and take the camp. When the native guard passes by Peter's former plantation, he sees Lyons being put to death. The residents of the plantation rejoice at being declared free. After some time of looking around and looking for his family, Peter finally finds them and is ecstatically reunited with them. They start praying. According to the ending statement, the likeness of the guy Peter was modeled after became a well-known symbol and a protest against slavery.